Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. The Warriors are surprising the NBA world. With a great start to the season, they are in first place in the Western Conference, with an 11-3 record. With each game, Andrew Wiggins has shown that he is recovering his good physical and technical form and has played great games. Not everything is good news, and yesterday it was officially announced that player DeAnthony Melton will be out of the season, due to the severity of his injury. Bad news for Warriors fans, who hope that another player of the same level will be signed. Confirmed, DeAnthony Melton is out of the NBA for a long time. DeAnthony Melton will miss the rest of the 2024-25 NBA season for the Golden State Warriors with an ACL injury. The Golden State Warriors have announced that summer signing DeAnthony Melton will be ruled out for the rest of the 2024-25 season after suffering an ACL tear, which will require surgery to repair. DeAnthony Melton, who has missed the last 2 games due to a sprained left ACL, underwent further testing to determine the extent of the injury. The tests indicated that it is in DeAnthony's best interest to proceed with ACL surgery. He is scheduled for surgery in the near future and will miss the remainder of the 2024-25 season. 0-0. Melton was averaging 10.3 points, 3.3 rebounds, and 2.8 assists, having started 2 games for the Warriors. Steve Kerr reacted to Melton's injury by expressing his disappointment at losing a player he thought would have been the perfect fit next to Stephen Curry in the starting lineup. "It's terrible news. I feel so bad for DeAnthony. He's such a perfect fit for us and we were excited to have him and he was clearly going to be our starter next to Steph. The good news is that he's a young guy, and the surgery is pretty routine these days, so he should be able to come back and resume his career really well. I feel awful for him and bad for us too." Kerr also revealed that Melton's starting spot will be given to Lindy Waters for the foreseeable future. "I like Lindy in the starting lineup, he's started the last few. He's a very good two-way player and he fills that role well, so we'll keep starting him and see how it goes." Last week, Kerr named Melton as the starting shooting guard of the team due to his certified 3-and-D ability elevating the Warriors' level of play. "I like this lineup with Melton, I anticipate doing it again. I think it gives us a very good two-way lineup. He's a really good passer, an excellent shooter, and a really good on-ball defender. Melton is someone we talked about a lot in camp and here in the early going, and we really liked it. I would like for the starting group that was out there, Curry, Melton, Wiggins, Green, Jackson Davis, tonight is the one for us going forward." Unfortunately, Kerr won't get to see how this lineup would end up doing over a big sample size, with Melton being ruled out for the entire season. He joined Golden State this summer on a 1-year, $12.8 million contract. This is a sizable blow for the Warriors, who are currently the number 1 seed in the West with an 11-3 record, but one they were involuntarily prepared for. They've been playing a very deep rotation of players with multiple options for multi-positional swing men. Lindy Waters will be starting now, but Kerr could easily rely on Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, or Buddy Hield in that spot as well. Regardless, Melton was easily the best defender of the lot and his competent shooting ability along with his on-ball skills made him the ideal two-guard next to Curry in the starters unit. Warriors roll past Hawks for 5th straight win at home. Andrew Wiggins scored a game-high 27 points, Stephen Curry added 23, and the Golden State Warriors recorded their 5th straight home win with a 120-97 romp over the Atlanta Hawks on Wednesday night in San Francisco. Tracy Jackson Davis had 14 points and 11 rebounds for Golden State, which bounced back after losing Monday on the road to the Los Angeles Clippers. The Warriors overcame a sluggish start against the Hawks, who were playing their 3rd game in 4 nights, to dominate the final 7+ minutes of the first quarter, turning a 15-14 deficit into a 41-22 advantage. Buddy Hield came off the bench to contribute 8 points to the 27-7 flurry, helping Golden State score its most points in the first quarter this season. Down 67-42 at halftime, the Hawks made a bit of a push in the third quarter and early in the fourth, closing within 90-77 on 2 free throws by DeAndre Hunter with 11:02 left in the game. But Lindy Waters' 3 countered with a 3-pointer and Golden State kept Atlanta at bay the rest of the way. Wiggins shot 12 of 17 from the floor and went 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. He added 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks. Curry, who had 8 assists, went 4 for 6 from 3-point range to help the Warriors shoot 14 for 40 from deep. Atlanta went 12 of 46 from beyond the arc. Hield, 11, Waters, 10, and Jonathan Kuminga, 10, also scored in double figures for the Warriors. Draymond Green added 9 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, and 2 blocks in the win. Jalen Johnson led a balanced attack with 15 points and added a game-high 14 rebounds for the Hawks, who had lost at Portland on Sunday and won at Sacramento on Monday to begin a 4-game trip. Trae Young had 12 points and 11 assists, and Zachary Rizicher also scored 12 points in the loss. Clint Capella and Dyson Daniels had 11 points each and Hunter finished with 10 off the bench for the Hawks. Warriors' Draymond Green reveals who's at fault for Brandon Podziemski's slump. The Golden State Warriors may have been met with some unfortunate news regarding DeAnthony Melton and his season-ending surgery to repair his injured ACL, but they still managed to pull out a dominant 120-97 win over the Atlanta Hawks at home on Wednesday night. The Dubs continue to click as a unit, and tonight, it was Andrew Wiggins who was the star of the show as he poured in a game-high 27 points on 12-17 shooting from the field. However, one important Warriors player is yet to hit the ground running this season. Brandon Podziemski, who was deemed untouchable in blockbuster trade talks for the likes of Lauri Markkanen and Paul George, has struggled mightily, averaging just 7.5 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 3.3 assists on 37/21/60 shooting splits through 13 games. And to make matters worse, Podziemski had to exit their game against the Hawks early after getting hit on the face, by his teammate, no less, therefore aggravating his nose injury. But for Warriors forward Draymond Green, he knows exactly who to blame for the narrative surrounding Podziemski's sophomore struggles. What he's trying to work through is y'all's fault. It's hard having a great rookie season and coming back having a good second year or better. It's tough. That's why you've always heard about the sophomore slump. I think for him, he's just put so much pressure on himself or the player he wants to be or that he thinks he should be, and that's unnecessary, Green said in his post-game presser, via Anthony Slater of The Athletic. Draymond Green went long on Brandon Podziemski's shooting struggles and the pressure he's putting on himself. What he's trying to work through is y'all's fault. I'm saying this because I hope he hears it. Full soundbite. Indeed, a huge spotlight was cast on Podziemski and how big of a role he'll be playing in his sophomore year for the Warriors now that Klay Thompson is gone. The Dubs wanted him to take around 8 threes per game. Suffice to say, Podziemski is not a like-for-like replacement for Thompson, as his game is predicated more on being the ultimate glue guy who can space the floor as well. The good news is that it's early in the season and that Podziemski has plenty of time to figure it out, as long as he starts listening to the correct voices in his head. The reduced minutes and role for Brandon Podziemski early in the season is not a sign that the Warriors have lost trust in him. In fact, Draymond Green reiterated that Podziemski should focus on the belief his teammates and coaches have in him and to not let all the external pressure get to his head. Why put the added pressure on yourself? Why beat yourself up? We believe in him. The amount of pressure that he puts on himself on each shot is insane. I'm saying this so I hope he hears it, Green said. Lindy Waters. Waters shares humble view on Warriors' new starting role. Golden State coach Steve Kerr speaks to reporters after the Warriors defeated the Atlanta Hawks 120-97 on Wednesday night at Chase Center. Steve Kerr said Lindy Waters III fits well into the Warriors' offense and plans to keep the undrafted veteran point guard as part of the starting unit at least for the foreseeable future. Waters, however, sees the issue differently. From Waters' perspective, Kerr could put anyone in the starting two-point guard spot left vacant by DeAnthony Melton's season-ending knee injury. "We have a lot of guys who can fill that role," Waters told NBC Sports Bay Area after Wednesday's 120-97 win over the Atlanta Hawks at Chase Center. "If you have Steph, Curry, Draymond Green, Tracy, Jackson Davis, and Andrew Wiggins, you can put any other fifth guy in there and he'll be good."